Hello, everyone. This is Teo Tamara, and welcome to Nancy Drew, Ghost Dogs of Moon Lake.
Welcome to my latest case, Ghost Dogs of Moon Lake. To start playing, choose either Junior or Senior Detective. If you're new to adventure games or need some help, choose Tutorial. Dear Ned, remember Sally McDonald, the woman who took those photos that Dad has up in his office? Well, she just bought a house in Moon Lake, Pennsylvania. A gangster named Mickey Malone built it back in the 20s as his country getaway. We're talking major fixer-upper. Anyway, last night Sally called and she said she desperately needed my detective skills. She refused to say why over the phone. Naturally, I said I'd drive to Moon Lake immediately. But weird things started happening the moment I pulled up. First, this big tree fell down behind my car and has me totally blocked in. And then I discovered that Sally's gone. She left a note that suggested something terrible happens here at night. She's supposed to call me from her car. So here I sit, writing to you while I wait for the phone to ring. It's nighttime, and although part of me is dying to know what frightened Sally away, another part of me is starting to feel a little uneasy. I'll let you know what happens. Ever yours, Nancy.
And you weren't feeling sketched out before this?
Hello?
Nancy, hi, it's Sally. We have to talk fast because I'm in my car and my cell phone's running low, so we might get cut off. But did you see my note?
Yes, are you all right?
No, I feel awful bailing on you like that. You must think I'm such a flake.
I'm just worried about you. What's wrong?
I couldn't stand the thought of spending another night there. I knew you were on your way, but it didn't help. I just got too scared.
You make it sound like the house is haunted or something.
Not the house, the woods. Just wait until it gets dark. Then you'll see. What am I saying? Nancy, you shouldn't be there by yourself either. Why don't you just go get in your car and go home? Or drive to Philadelphia. My aunt's got plenty of room.
One of your trees seems to have other plans for me.
What do you mean?
A tree fell down behind my car just as I was driving up to the house. I'm blocked in.
Oh, the dead maple beside the driveway. Oh, they told me it was in danger of falling over when I had the place inspected. I just never got around to doing anything about it. Listen, call M's Emporium. That's a store on the lake. Emily knows everybody. She'll know who to call if she decides to answer her phone.
It's late. Won't the store be closed?
Where's my brain? Okay, look. I just bought a little outboard motorboat. I haven't used it yet, but the guy who put it in for me said it should run just fine. It's tied up at the dock out front. Just get in it and go. Go anywhere. Just get away from the house.
Why? What on earth do you think is going to happen?
The dogs. Those dogs. Out of nowhere. They're outside howling and snarling. Teeth and claws. Horrible.
Dogs? Hello? Did you say dogs? Hello?
Check out Squeaking.
What is that?
Girl, that isn't on an owl, so we're gonna at least grab this water. Gloves in the sink. And that map, which we're gonna need later. Huh. Okay.
The moon's so bright, I won't need my flashlight. Something's out there.
Now look what you've done. That was a Strixarian. I didn't think it was. Never know for sure now, will I?
I'm sorry, but you startled me. What are you doing out here?
Birds. I'm trying to look for birds. What are you doing out here?
I'm Nancy Drew. I'm staying in this house, and I heard a lot of weird noises, so I came out here to investigate.
That was me, Miss Nancy Drew, calling in birds. And doing a pretty good job of it, too, till you showed up. Where'd you come from, anyway?
I drove in today from River Heights to visit my friend Sally McDonald.
Now, why would you want to do a thing like that? The Malone house is no place for one young woman, let alone two.
What do you know about the woman living here?
I talked to her a couple of times. But you know, the last time I saw her, she wasn't doing so good. She acted real anxious, scared.
Did she say what was wrong?
The dogs. The dogs of Mickey Malone. Legend goes that when Malone was finally arrested and hauled away, his 4 dogs went running off into the woods and were never seen again. People would just hear them, howling like their hearts were broken every night until one by one, they all died and went silent. But every time someone tries living in the Malone house, back they come.
What do the dogs do?
Every night, ever since she moved in, you could hear them howling. And some nights the dogs would appear outside the house, running around, snarling and barking and throwing themselves at the doors and windows. And then they'd be gone. They're buried in the cemetery just beyond the house, you know. Them and Malone, both.
Did they ever attack Sally?
She never gave them the chance. After the first attack, she stopped going out at night. Just locked the doors when it got dark and sat tight until morning.
Why haven't the police investigated?
This isn't New York City, Miss Nancy Drew. All they got around here is one officious little park ranger. And all Jeff Akers does is sit around all day trying to figure out how he can get himself transferred out of here to a bigger park.
Do you live close by?
I just come to Moon Lake in the spring to look for birds. Got an observation platform just up the path, kind of my base camp, and I've got a little outboard down there on the lake. Left my car at the big dock up lake. Don't really need it.
Are those the ghost dogs?
Yes, ma'am. Which is why I think it would be a good idea if I went my merry way and you got yourself back inside that house.
One more thing. The water in Sally's well needs to be tested. How do I do that?
Get a sampling kit from Jeff Akers. Ranger station's on the east side of the lake. Good luck, Miss Nancy Drew.
Okay, so that doesn't do anything.
This is not good.
Oh, wow. Why are its eyes glowing in green? Those look like normal ass dogs, though. Is the attack over? Right, we're gonna go to the cemetery now, because I'm not no piss bitch.
I'd better be careful.
says attention to this tombstone. I wonder what that's about.
Leaves that appear on a fresh spring tree make my birth different from the other three. When swans drift by on shimmering blue, I'm the one who plays in the summer dew. When autumn's call brings out the deer, it is I who howls on mornings clear. And when winter comes and birds take flight, look to me to sleep through the long gray night.
That's gotta mean something later. I do love how it's just a time skip here.
It's stuck.
So one of
I
them.
need some sandpaper.
We need sandpaper for that one. Do that thing where we test the water. Okay, we're not going in the forest, we just want to test the well water. So we're going to use that to prime the pump. Take the bucket from below it.
The boat's full of water.
That's why we got that bucket. And what do we get in the boat? A screwdriver. And a light bulb. Now's the part where we actually use the well water and actually pump it out. Get to the shed, because there was a shed here. So this is actually not the... there's a compass there. Could have sworn there was a whole ass other shed here. And like no idea how to get inside it. Because we go this way, we get to Red's observation platform, and he's not gonna be there. I'm like lost here. I don't know where the shed is.
Those look too rotten.
Oh, here it is.
A face only a gnome could love.
Very true. I just realized those are Hotchkiss' ski boots from the 4th game. Treasure in the Royal Tower. What the fuck is that? Don't know what that's doing there, but...
It's locked. It's locked.
Was there something else I was supposed to get in here? I found that at least, but I definitely missed something. Nancy, I'm really sorry, but I can't just face another night here. I'm going to Onset, Philadelphia. Doors open, make yourself at home. We'll call you from my car. Sally, P.S. My cell phone number is 215-555-5389. Please don't hate me. I already saw everything that's in there. Don't get much of a view in here, do you? Oh, that iron from Message in the Haunted Mansion. Oh, that's the key we need. Okay, I'm a dumbass. Alright.
Oh, the key broke off. It's locked. There's got to be another way to get this open.
There is. That's what we got the screwdriver for. We get the hammer and we get the nails from here. And a gas mask. I wonder what the heck we're gonna need that for. Oh my. Now we go back to the house. So there was an area of the house I wasn't looking at a minute ago, and I did get past this part when I originally recorded this, so...
This doesn't look very safe.
Yeah, floorboards are rotting, so we're gonna put the boards down. So we did a bit of a scratch job with those, and then we click on the floorboards. Rotten floorboards watcher set, ironically. We can't notice that safely till after we fix The floorboards.
The spark plug is missing.
Yep, it is missing. Telephone time.
Hello?
Hey, Sally, it's Nancy.
Nancy, did you see them? Did you see the dogs?
Yes, I did, and I can understand why you left. They were pretty frightening. But if it's okay with you, I'd really like to stay and get to the bottom of whatever's going on. That's why you asked me here in the first place, right?
Yes, but Nancy, are you sure?
Positive. Consider Detective Drew officially on the case.
I wish I were even half the trooper you are, Nancy. I have such high hopes for that house. All the beauty there, the wildlife, all the pictures I was going to take. It would break my heart to have to give it up.
I need you to tell me everything you can about those dogs.
They're black and they have yellow glowing eyes and they don't like me one bit.
When's the first time you saw them?
Well, let's see. I heard them the very first night I was here. I heard them almost every night howling in the distance, but I didn't actually see them until I'd been here about a week. After that, they started appearing pretty much every other night.
When they appeared, did they always do the same thing?
Yes, come to think of it. They always came running up to the house, barking and snarling. They'd lunge at the windows, they'd jump up on the door, they'd run around and bark some more, then they'd run off. What are you getting at?
These attacks seem to involve a lot of choreography, which reinforces my theory that you're not being randomly attacked by a pack of wild dogs, but by dogs who've been trained by someone determined to scare you out of your house at Moon Lake.
Who would want to do that? My closest neighbor lives 2 miles away. My property is surrounded by the state park, but it's off-season, so hardly anybody is in the park. In fact, I bet I talked to a total of 3 people the whole 4 weeks I was at Moon Lake.
Which 3 people?
Let's see, the park ranger, I forget his name, kind of a pain in the neck. Emily Griffin, she's the one who owns that store I told you about. And I ran into this bird watcher a couple of times. Had a funny name.
Red Knot. I've run into him too.
Other than people I may have nodded hello to while getting gas or something, I swear those are the only people I've talked to at Moon Lake.
Okay, I have a lot to ask you about.
What about River Heights? Can you think of anyone there who'd want you to sell your house at Moon Lake and move back to River Heights?
You mean like an angry ex-boyfriend or something? Nope, I sure can't.
Since I'm going to be staying here a while, is there anything I should know about the place?
Well, let's see. I've got the water turned off because it's well water and it needs to be tested before I can use it for anything. In fact, if you could get that testing done for me, I'd really appreciate it. Oh, and watch where you walk in the living room. Some of the floorboards are so rotten you could fall right through. And I keep hearing these faint squeaks and rustling type noises coming from below the floor. I hope you're not scared of mice.
Your outboard motorboat is missing a spark plug. Is there one around here by any chance?
I wouldn't know a spark plug if I swallowed one whole. But you need that boat, Nancy. Right now, it's your lifeline. You can't use your car, and believe me, you can't walk anywhere because all the paths around the house end in this thick, horrible brush. You've got to get it fixed. Wait a minute. The bird watcher, he's got a boat. Maybe you could borrow his spark plug or something. Go down the path that's to the right as you look out toward the lake from the house, and you'll eventually see his observation platform. Try him at night. He never seems to be around during the day.
I could really use some sandpaper. Do you have any stashed away somewhere?
Sure don't. Try M's Emporium. That's on the west side of the lake. And brace yourself if you haven't been there yet. The place is something else.
How well do you know the owner?
I feel like I've known her all my life. She's so open and friendly. She likes to make it sound as if Moon Lake used to be a major hangout for criminals and degenerates, which isn't really true and irks some people around here no end. But I figure she's just trying to make a buck.
How do I go about getting your water tested?
Try the ranger station on the east side of the lake. I've been told you can get some kind of kit there.
I'm curious. Why did you characterize the park ranger as a pain in the neck?
I left part of a ham sandwich on a picnic table once. Big mistake. From the way he carried on, you'd think I just made the FBI's 10 most wanted list. I don't think he likes me. Emily says it's because I wrecked his dream of becoming Super Ranger or something when I bought the Malone house instead of the Parks Department. Me, I think he just basically has a problem relating to people unless they're asking questions or breaking the law.
Where'd all that stuff in your tool shed come from?
It's just junk left behind by previous owners. Came with the house. I've been meaning to take inventory and start pitching stuff, but I didn't. If they ever make procrastination a crime, I'm done for.
The wall hanging in the living room with a poem on it, and those dog carvings in that cabinet above the sofa. What can you tell me about them?
Aren't they cool? They came with the place. So's the clock. Apparently, Malone had them custom made when he built the house. In fact, they're all built into the house. They're still there because you can't move them.
Has the clock ever worked?
Not for me. Oh, but get this. One day, I was messing with the hands, trying to get them to work, and all of a sudden, one of the 4 little doors flew open, and instead of a cuckoo, this dog popped out and barked 3 times. It's a doggy clock. That Malone, bad as he was, he sure loved those dogs.
Are you aware that you're the proud owner of your very own cemetery?
Yes. When the realtor told me there was a cemetery on the property, I went, ugh. But when I saw how far from the house it was and how small it was, I decided I could live with it, as it were.
So you didn't go out there much?
No.
Talk to you later.
Thanks again, Nancy.
Alright, so that's pretty much the only thing we can do right now. We are gonna go to bed because we need Red Knot. And he only comes out at night, so EP time we go.
Miss Nancy Drew.
Please, just call me Nancy.
I will if you keep your voice down. I just heard a cerulean warbler.
Really? Are they rare?
Something tells me they're gonna be with you around. You didn't come up here to chit-chat, did you?
Do you know much about outboard motors?
Sure do. Only type of motorized vehicle that's allowed on Moon Lake. Heck, if it were up to me, I'd ban them too. Have everybody get around by canoe. Nothing like the threat of physical activity to keep tourists away.
Why don't you like tourists?
I came to see birds, not people. The more people there are in a forest, the fewer birds there are. It's a fact of life. Reason I like to come here is because nobody else does. It's perfect. Not a decent grocery store, restaurant, or motel for miles.
There's no place nearby that sells boat parts? Sally's outboard is missing a spark plug.
I might be able to help you out. After all, I was a Boy Scout. Be prepared.
I can tell.
You mean you have a spark plug I could buy?
Well, just so happens I've got 2 spark plugs right here in my pocket. Question is, if I give you one, what do I get for it? I don't need cash, but maybe you could take a few pictures for me. Know how to use a digital camera?
Right, this did come out in 2002, so digital cameras were probably all the rage back then. They were probably fairly new.
Sure. What would you like me to take pictures of?
Birds, of course. There's a couple of birds I'm supposed to take pictures of for PEPSOB. That's People for the Preservation and Study of Birds. You can recognize them by their songs, which are on this tape, which you can play on my cassette player, which you're going to have to get from M's Emporium as soon as you get your boat fixed. Think you can handle that?
I know I can.
Here's everything you'll need. M's Emporium is up lake on the west side. Not that I'm trying to get you out of my hair or anything, but try not to come pestering me till you're done, okay? One more thing. You smoke?
Cigarettes? No.
These woods may not look it, but they're tinder dry. One lit match, and the best bird habitat on the East Coast will go up in smoke. So watch what you do. Because if anything like that happens, I won't be looking for birds anymore. I'll be looking for you. Watch yourself out there.
Okay, so, actually, these woods kind of do look tinder dry. Maybe they'd look a little less dry if they were real, but like, this is also 2002, so yes, the woods look dry. So we're gonna switch to morning. And we're gonna go into the forest. Our map tells us where 3 of the birds are, which is helpful. At least I thought it did. Is go left, go to where the fallen tree is, and to go straight.
Darn, it flew away.
Alright, we're gonna try that again. Going right at the fallen tree. And then left at the log. Okay, we got one picture. Now for the yellow bird, we have to go the complete opposite direction. Okay, I think I may have already been going the wrong direction here. That one you have to go right, and then right, then left. Okay, that's 2. So yeah, the red bird is the one that is supposed to, like... You're not supposed to get them. But I gotta figure out where this bird is.
Where are all the birds?
Okay, I genuinely think I did just get lucky with that one. I am taking a picture of this darn orange bird. So at that, you left.
I must have scared it.
Oh, frick. Which ones do we have so far? We're at the log. We want to go right then of the fallen tree.
Missed it.
Oh boy, this puzzle is going to be annoying to get through. We do have the actual spark plug. I'm just gonna head over to the bell and put the plug in. Alright, so now we know what's up with that.
I gotta have some torque.
This being the screwdriver as well. That should be up. Top right should be in the middle. The bottom left should be down, and the bottom right should stay up all the way. gonna save my game here just in case I screw this up. First stop is M's Emporium. It looks like we did do it right, so yay.
Hey there! Welcome to M's Emporium. I'm Emily Griffin.
My name's Nancy Drew. I'm staying out at the old Malone place. You know, the house Sally McDonald bought.
Now, what's she doing inviting guests out to that old dump?
She's got a little problem she's hoping I can solve. But right now, I need a chainsaw.
A chainsaw?
A tree fell down in the driveway behind my car, and now I'm blocked in.
I'll get Tucker Davis to take care of it. Gotta warn you, though. Tucker tends to do things in his own sweet time. So how come Sally ain't with you?
The ghost dog scared her off.
I told her. I said, Sally, that old house is gonna be nothing but trouble. And sure enough, Malone's hounds have come back. Just when we all thought they were finally resting in peace.
Have you ever seen the dogs?
Nope. Don't want to, neither. Just hearing them howl's bad enough. Scares the bejeebies out of me.
When was the last time they appeared?
Seems like they show up every time somebody buys the place. So the last time would have been 10, 15 years ago.
I caught a strange man prowling around last night. He called himself Red Knot.
The bird watcher. Comes in every so often to stock up on that weirdo food he eats. You know how them tree hugger types are.
It seemed to me that he was more into watching birds than hugging trees.
Yeah, well, whatever. One thing's for sure. He's gonna wind up with a dose of buckshot in his hind end if he keeps tramping through people's yards making noises like he just popped out of a UFO.
Mr. Knott did me a favor, and in return he asked me to pick up a cassette player from you.
Oh yeah, I got it right here. Thought maybe the old coot had forgotten he left it here.
Can I do anything?
What else can I do you for?
I need to buy something.
You want it? I got it. As long as you pay cash, that is.
Right now, cash is kind of a problem for me. Do you think we could do some kind of trade out?
You scratch my back, I scratch yours, huh? Seeing as how you're a friend of Sally's, and seeing as how I got some things around here that could use doing, I guess we could work something out. What is it you need?
Do you sell sandpaper by any chance?
I do, but Mr. Birdbrain was in last week and cleaned me out. Said he was tired of that observation platform of his giving him splinters in his hinter regions.
Ooh, okay. That's not enviable at all. I don't blame him.
Think I could get some from him?
He's your only hope. But you better ask him for it quick. That deck of his is pretty big, and those squares I sold him were pretty small.
Well, see, I think I'm gonna wait to ask about Waldo Matthias.
Guess I'll see you later.
You betcha.
Okay, how do I get out? Oh, it's literally here. We're gonna go now to the breaker station. There are a few things you can talk to me about.
Hello, can I help you?
Hi, my name's Nancy Drew. I'm visiting Sally McDonald. Are you the park ranger?
Park Ranger Jeff Akers, at your service. Let's see, Sally McDonald is the woman who bought the old Malone place.
That's right, only she's gone back to Philadelphia. Malone's dogs got to her.
Don't tell me she believes all that ghost dog stuff.
Does that mean you don't?
There's always a logical explanation for everything. Whatever's out there, I'm sure they're no more and no less than exactly what they look and sound like. Dogs. Living, breathing, very noisy dogs.
Any idea what would make a dog's eyes glow yellow?
Something in their diet, maybe? Some oddball vitamin or protein.
Why do you think dogs would attack Sally's house?
Dogs can be trained to do almost anything.
Have you ever investigated the ghost dogs yourself?
Do you always ask this many questions?
As a matter of fact, I do.
I'm a very busy man, Miss Drew, but I am here to serve the public.
Do you have something I could use to test the well water at Sally's?
Sure do. Simple to use, too. Just pump some water into this vial, return the sample to me, I'll send it off, and in a day or two, you'll find out whether or not your water's fit to drink.
Does everyone out here have a well?
Everyone who doesn't want to die of thirst does. Hooking up to a municipal water supply is out of the question. Too expensive.
I don't know if I want to question him too much about his ranger station, but I do feel like I need to ask him about
This
it.
place isn't exactly your ordinary ranger station, is it?
It's also the Moon Lake Post Office, and it's the unofficial Moon Lake Museum of Factual and Natural History. I've lived here all my life, so I can't help but feel obligated to protect not only the area's flora and fauna, but also its past.
See, you meet him and suddenly everybody's complaining about him, feels a little, it's giving microaggressive a little bit.
Which is apparently rather colorful.
As a member of the law enforcement community, I prefer to dwell on the positive aspects of history instead of on the activities of a bunch of glorified thugs.
As an officer of the law, can you think of anyone who might want to scare Sally off her property?
The woman who owns the shop across the lake? Emily Griffin? I can't prove it, but I'm pretty sure she's been dragging the lake in front of Malone's house for artifacts, which is illegal. It would be a lot easier for her to do her dirty work if nobody was living there.
What do you know about the cemetery behind the Malone house?
People are buried there. Beyond that, what's to know?
Is Malone buried there?
That's the rumor.
Okay, so this one I think we are going to ask the Waldo Matthias question.
The inscription on one of the tombstones reads Waldo Matthias. Does that name ring any bells?
Not in my steeple.
Would you mind mailing this letter for me?
Not at all.
Would it be okay if I looked around?
Please do. And if you have any questions, any more questions, just ask.
Thanks for all your help.
Not a problem. Oh, and one last thing. The deer mouse population has boomed this year, so please take precautions if you're cleaning out any area where they may have nested. They can carry some nasty diseases.
Thanks for the tip, Ranger Akers.
One of them is hantavirus. There are several types of hantaviruses, but hantavirus pulmonary syndrome can cause acute respiratory failure and death. The rodent most likely to transmit the disease to humans is the deer mouse. Pictured right there. A deer mouse infected with the hantavirus does not act or appear sick. Infection occurs when tiny particles from deer mouse saliva, urine, and droppings containing the virus are kicked up into the air, a process called aerosolization and inhaled. The early symptoms of HBS can occur anywhere from 1 to 5 weeks after exposure. Fatigue, fever, muscle aches, headaches, chills, abdominal problems. How to avoid HBS. Avoid these areas and take precautions. Never sweep an area inhabited by mice, as sweeping would stir up the particles which you would inhale. Wear a respiratory mask and rubber gloves and thoroughly wet down the area with a bleach and water solution, 9 parts water, 1 part bleach. Remove dirt from the area with a damp towel, mop, or sponge. Double bag cleaning materials before disposing of them. Giardiasis, or beaver fever, is a illness caused by a parasite, Giardia, that lives in the intestines of people and animals. These hard-shelled cysts are expelled into the environment, the waste matter of infected animals or humans, and stay in the soil until they contaminate a food source, are accidentally ingested, or they are carried into streams, rivers, lakes, or recreational bodies of water such as pools and hot tubs. Symptoms usually occur 1 to 2 weeks after its ingestion, including diarrhea, abdominal cramps, stomach upset. In healthy people, these symptoms will usually disappear on their own after about a month. Giardiasis is very contagious, but it is preventable by washing hands thoroughly with soap and water before eating and handling food and after using the toilet. Never drink untreated water from streams or lakes when hiking camp, and always watch and or peel raw fruits and vegetables that may have come in contact with contaminated soil or water. You must use water that you suspect contains Giardia. Heat the water to a rolling boil for at least a minute or filter using a filter that has been NSF rated for cyst removal. Lyme disease named after Lyme, Connecticut, where a cluster of arthritis cases in 1977 led to the identification, is an infection caused by bacterium carried by deer ticks. The spring and summer months May through June November pose the greatest risk of infection. Deer ticks flourish in wooded, bushy, grassy areas where the animals, rodents, deer, and birds on which they feed are abundant. Early symptoms of Lyme disease include fever, headache, fatigue, muscle joint aches, and chills. Ooh. Most victims will also develop a distinctive rash that resembles a bullseye. Wear light-colored clothing so you can see ticks and knock them away before they can attach to your skin. Always wear long-sleeve shirts and tuck the bottoms of your pants into your socks or boots. Inspect your skin carefully after every outing, and if you find any ticks, remove them by grasping them with a pair of tweezers and pulling with a firm, steady motion and washing the area with antiseptic. See your doctor immediately if you develop any symptoms of Lyme disease. Forest fire prevention. It's up to the people using our nation's park and forest lands to prevent forest fires. While some fires caused by lightning, the most devastating fires tend to be started by human carelessness. As someone who comes from California where there are a shit ton of wildfires, I would know this. Use common sense. No smoking allowed anywhere on the park grounds. Fireworks and firearms of any kind are strictly prohibited. Campfires are allowed in the park, but only in designated areas. No fires allowed on park beaches at any time. Don't let 1 minute of carelessness destroy what it took nature decades to create. Poison ivy. Learn to identify the poison ivy plant. You will have taken the first step in avoiding poison ivy. The popular saying, leaves of 3, beware of me, is a good rule of thumb for poison ivy. You can prevent the misery of poison ivy by looking out for the plant when you're outdoors. You can destroy these weeds with herbicides in your backyard. Some people are very sensitive to poison ivy. They can develop a severe rash with blisters and extreme swelling. Such severe cases need medical treatment. That's fun. Very informational reading. That's just the exit. Welcome to Moon Lake State Park. What's in a name? Moon Lake is an apt moniker for this crescent-shaped freshwater lake. One of Pennsylvania's best-kept secrets, the lake is home to various species of fish, including trout, carp, and freshwater bass. For bass, fishing is permitted with a license. Welcome to Moon Lake State Park. Drop by the visitor center and say hi to our park ranger. The center provides all your needed information for a fun and enjoyable time in Moon Lake. Critters, white-tailed deer, chipmunks, cottontail rabbits, otters, and skunks are some of the more common animals in Moon Lake State Park. Please note, all wildlife can be dangerous. Never approach, harass, or feed any animals, even the small ones. Birds. Common shorebirds include the great blue heron and the mallard. Each species provides ample opportunities for bird watching. This portion of the park is closed to visitors as the several rare birds such as the yellow-bellied flycatcher are known to breed in this area of the lake. To fish at Moon Lake, a person must be at least 16 years old. He or she must obtain a current license or a license-issuing agent, like a friendly park ranger behind you, signed in ink, and displayed on an outer garment. Also, a person should carry positive proof of identification while fishing and should be prepared to furnish it if asked. It is against the law to use more than 2 rods and or lines when fishing, and no more than 3 hooks may be affixed to any line. A hook with 2 or 3 points is considered 1 hook. Using nets or snagging hooks to catch fish is strictly prohibited. Also, disposing of trash in the water on the adjacent lane is illegal. All persons on board any type of boat or kayak must wear a Coast Guard-approved personal flotation device at all times, show courtesy to other anglers, and exercise safety at all times. The use of motors in excess of 18 horsepower is prohibited. All persons on board any type of boat or kayak shall wear a Coast Guard-approved personal flotation device at all times. The mooring of boats, any dock, wharf, pier, shop, or boat launch in a manner that interferes with public use or creates a hazard to swimmers or other watercraft is prohibited. Sailboats greater than 14 feet in length and multi-hull sailboats are prohibited. Inflatable boats must be greater than 7 feet in length, made of tough reinforced fabric, and have at least 2 separate buoyancy chambers exclusive of any inflatable floor or bottom. All boats must display a state park launch permit, which can be obtained from your local park ranger once your boat passes his or her inspection. Hiking tips. Always carry the 10 essentials. Carry a map of the area and know how to use it. Dress in appropriate clothing. Although hiking by yourself is enjoyable, hiking with 2 is always safer and more fun. Children should not hike without proper adult supervision. Keep pets leashed at all times and clean up after your pet. Stay on the designated trail. Shortcuts cause damage to precious park resources. For night hiking, use a flashlight to illuminate the trail and to watch for snakes and scorpions, particularly on tall grass areas and bushy undergrowth. Poison ivy and ticks are common in the park. Check yourself and your pet thoroughly for ticks after hiking. Be a friend to the park and help us keep it clean. We have chipmunk, gray squirrel, eastern tiger, swallowtail, trout, red-tailed hawk, great blue heron, Dame's rocket, white-tailed deer, skunk, otter, and buttercup. Now there is something kind of interesting here. In 1932, when the United States was in the throes of the Great Depression, presidential candidate Franklin D. Roosevelt recognized that the country was facing two very serious problems. Its natural resources were rapidly being destroyed by soil erosion and deforestation, and thousands of able-bodied men were unemployed and desperately looking for work. So when he was elected, Roosevelt immediately compelled Congress to pass the Emergency Conservation of Work Act. It called for the establishment of a peacetime army of men who, when stationed at various work camps throughout the country, would undertake work projects that would save and revitalize the nation's forests while allowing the men to earn much-needed paychecks. By the end of 1935, this army, called the Civilian Conservation Corps, had been successfully mobilized and was hard at work. 500,000 enrollees were stationed at 2,650 camps, which are located in all 48 states as well as the territories of Hawaii and Alaska. The men undertook projects ranging from building roads and fire towers to stringing telephone lines and planting billions of trees. When it was abolished in 1942, it had left its mark on every state in the nation. The importance of its role in development of recreational facilities in national, state, country, and metropolitan parks throughout the country could not be understated. The building in which you're now sitting is a testament to the dedication and determination of Roosevelt's Tree Army. There's some stuff here. And some pictures of the history of the area. There's a computer. Wells and well water. Oh god, we're gonna be here for a while, aren't we? Moon Lake is too far from any major city for its residents to tap into a public water supply. Therefore, everyone living in the area must rely on private wells for the water they use every day for drinking, cooking, and bathing. Nowadays, wells are located and constructed according to requirements set down by the state of Pennsylvania, but a well does not last forever. Sooner or later, wells begin to lose their ability to keep out contaminants. For this reason, a well should be inspected every few years, and its water should be tested at least once a year. Water can be contaminated by chemicals such as pesticides and fertilizers, by naturally occurring elements such as arsenic and lead, by waterborne microbes which can cause such diseases as dysentery, hepatitis, as giardiasis, and cryptosporidiosis. Well water that is contaminated may look and smell fine, which is why testing is important. Imperative to ensure safety. On the other hand, well water that smells and tastes like rotten eggs may be perfectly safe. This unpleasant odor may come from underground rock surrounding the source of the well water, but more likely it is caused by bacteria which, though harmless, live in rapidly multiplying colonies in the well and emit hydrogen sulfide gas as part of their life cycle. Disinfecting the well with carefully calculated amounts of chlorine can reduce or eliminate foul odors by destroying the bacteria which create them. The Grimley County Extension Service has more information on shot chlorination. If your well is more than 20 years old, has not been used or tested for more than a year, there is a sudden change in the quality of your water, immediately stop drinking the water, disconnect your plumbing system from the well, then get a water testing kit from the friendly, ever helpful park ranger behind you, take a sample from the well, see the factor on priming a pump if your pump doesn't work, and send it to the address included in the kit. When working with water systems, large or small, always remember turning a valve to the right will shut off the flow of water, while turning the valve to the left will allow the water to flow. In other words, righty-tighty, lefty-loosey. Shallow well pumps, which can lift water at a maximum of 25 feet at sea level, operate on the same principles as a drinking straw. The action of the pump sucks air out of the intake or drop pipe that extends out into the well water. When a partial vacuum is created, air pressure does the rest, pushing water up the intake pipe and out the spout of the pump. When a pump seems to stop working, that is, when it fails to suck any water up and out the spout, no matter how much the handle is pumped, it probably just needs to be primed. To prime a pump, simply pour potable water or drinkable water into the top of it and pump the handle till water flows from the spout. It's a good idea to fill a container with water right away and keep it nearby so you have water the next time the pump needs priming. A pump needs to be primed because built into the pump is a cylinder through which runs a plunger. On one end of the plunger is attached to the pump handle, the other hand is attached to a valve which opens when the handle is raised and closes when the handle is pushed down. The sides of the valve, its leathers, must be wet in order to create enough of a seal with the edge of the cylinder pull out the air out of the intake pipe and allow air pressure to force water up the pipe into the cylinder and out the spout. The longer the pump goes without being used, the drier these leathers will become. Of course, in time, these valve or cup leathers will eventually wear out and have to be replaced. Well water should be tested at least once a year to make sure no chemicals or disease-causing microbes have contaminated the water. See wells and well water. We kind of already did. This is mostly just the same stuff that we saw over there. Same with Lyme disease, so I'm not going to read the whole thing because we don't have time for that. And giardiasis. Oh yeah, this one's also, most of these are just the same as the stuff that's up there. Pause if you want to read those, because I'm not doing all that. This is the only one that has any substantial difference, because the thing up there only covered poison ivy, so I'll just read this one. 3 varieties of plants growing in Moon Lake State Park have the potential to make life miserable for 85% of its visitors. Poison ivy, poison oak, and poison sumac all produce an oil called urushiol, which, when it comes into contact with the person's skin, can cause allergic dermatitis. This skin rash, characterized by redness, swelling, blisters, and itching, and from mild to quite severe depending on the person's sensitivity, which tends to decline with age. Poison ivy and poison oak are characterized by leaves comprises 3 leaflets. Just remember, leaflets is 3, let it be. Here at Moon Lake, poison ivy grows as a vine in wooded areas, and poison oak grows as a low shrub. Poison sumac is leaves comprised of 7 to 13 leaflets, and tend to grow in tall shrub or low tree in boggy areas at large. All 3 lose their leaves in winter. People commonly come in contact with the urushiol and the sap of these plants in 3 ways: by touching their root, stems, or leaves, by touching something else that has come in contact with urushiol, like an animal, ball, or garden tool, by allowing airborne urushiol particles released when poison plants are burned to reach their skin. A rash will usually form within 12 to 48 hours following contact with urushiol. Although the rash can appear to spread from one part of the body to the other, it in truth does not. It simply takes longer for the rash to appear on some parts of the body than on others, depending on the thickness of the skin. Prevention is always the best cure. Over-the-counter barrier creams that keep urushiol from penetrating skin can offer some protection, but it's best to simply learn what poisonous plants look like and avoid them. Don't play sports near them and keep pets away from them as well. If you think you've come into contact with the poisonous plant, the following may help. Immediately rinse all exposed parts of your body with water from a stream, lake, or garden hose. Wash with soap if possible. Wash your clothes as soon as possible, too, as any outdoor gear that may have come into contact with urushiol. If the rash develops, relieve the itching by taking cool showers and applying calamine lotion. While scratching will not spread the rash, it may cause an infection as your fingernails might harbor bacteria, so try to avoid it. Wow, I don't know about sunset, that looks more red. Okay, I think we're done here. This is the one that's actually, like, the interesting part that we might actually read. The first residents of Moon Lake were members of the Lenape tribe, one of the several Algonquin-speaking tribes that populated the northeastern U.S. for hundreds, if not thousands of years, prior to the arrival of colonizers from Europe. Because the colonizers had trouble pronouncing Lenape, they lumped the tribe in with all the other Algonquin-speaking tribes they encountered and referred to this larger group as the Delaware Indians. This is because many of the Algonquin-speaking tribes lived in the large drainage basin off the Delaware River, which had been named after an Englishman whose title was Lord Delaware. Curious and friendly, the Lenape were hospitable to the early colonizers, but as the number of settlers grew, so did tension between the two groups. The Lenape believed that all land belonged to the Creator, and as a result they had difficulty understanding the concept of private ownership by which colonizers seemed to live. The Lenape gradually migrated west were probably forced to migrate west, settling for brief periods in Ohio, Indiana, Illinois, Missouri, Arkansas, and Kansas. At each place, the Lenape were told that was to be their new home, but after a few years, the colonizers changed their mind and forced them to move again. They finally settled in Oklahoma, where more than 11,000 Lenape still live today. Native Americans were the first true settlers. Around 1635, immigrant colonizers from Europe moved into the area. Mostly of German and Scotch-Irish descent, they farmed the fields around the lake, hunted game in the woods, and lived peacefully alongside the Lenape. This is probably a lie, but as more and more colonizers came, the demand for land increased, and so did pressure on the Lenape to move out. In one instance, the Europeans talked the Lenape into turning over to them as much land as a man could walk in a day and a half. The Lenape agreed to the deal, and the settlers promptly sent men out to run as far as they could in the allotted time. The walking purchase, as they called today, forced many Lenape to leave Moon Lake forever. Like the rest of Pennsylvania, Moon Lake was very anti-slavery. Prior to the Civil War, the Letska farm on the north side of the lake was rumored to be part of the Underground Railroad, the secret network of people who would hide slaves fleeing from their owners in the south, to travel to Canada where they'd be free. Dozens of slaves at a time reportedly sought refuge during the day in the huge cell of the farmhouse. When the night came, they'd resume their perilous journey north. Nothing remains of the farm today, though in the 1920s a gangster built a house in the approximate spot where the farmhouse once stood. In the early 20th century, many celebrities from the East Coast spent time here, including Florence Ziegfeld, famous producer of Broadway musicals and revues. In fact, in 1926, his boat The Falling King ran into the rocks at the north end of the lake and capsized. Nobody was hurt, then rather than going to the bother of repairing the boat, Ziegfeld simply left it there. Legend has it that for years a local dog would swim out to the wreck every day and lie on it, barking at everyone who came near. The boat gradually disintegrated until now no trace of it remains. Local legend has it that Ben Franklin spent the summer of 1744 on Moon Lake's south shore. That summer was a particularly stormy one, which has led to speculation that his interest in lightning and electricity were sparked by his experiences here. Moon Lake has had some infamous residents as well. In 1925, at the height of Prohibition, Mickey Malone, a gangster from Philadelphia who got rich smuggling and distributing illegal liquor, built a house on the North Shore at the site of the old Retska farm. People came from up and down the East Coast to attend the parties he threw at Moon Lake. He was convicted of tax evasion in 1933 and sent to prison where he eventually died. Okay, there's more here. In the early 1900s, as automobiles began to make the rural parts of the state more accessible to people in a big city, interest in hiking, camping, and remote areas as Moon Lake grew. Interest in saving forested areas instead of allowing them to be destroyed by logging increased as well. In 1919, a group of private citizens, mostly from Philadelphia, founded the Moon Lake Conservancy in order to raise money and acquire and preserve the land surrounding the lake. By 1921, the group had acquired most of the land on its west, south, and east shores, a total of 1,004 acres. The land was donated to the State Forestry Department and formally became Moon Lake State Park in 1930. Although the Moon Lake Conservancy no longer exists, many people still dream of the day when they can walk all the way around Moon Lake without encountering private property. If you own land on Moon Lake or know someone who does, please consider selling or better yet donating it to the Pennsylvania Department of Conservation and Natural Resources. Ask your friendly park ranger for more information. The Information Center at Moon Lake and its adjacent sanitation facility were built in 1939 by the Civilian Conservation Group. See the poster on the wall beside you. The CCC etched the year into the cornerstone of the building using an ancient numbering system called Roman numerals. All the hiking trails, except for the Mingo Saddle Trail, were created by original inhabitants of the Moon Lake area, the Lenape. The CCC incorporated these trails into the park by widening and marking them in the late 1930s. The Bureau of State Parks surveyed, cleared, and blazed the Mingo Saddle Trail in 1969 in order to link the state park to the Appalachian Trail via Delaware Ridge. You probably noticed the letters etched into the cornerstone on the front of this building, MCMXXXIX. This is not the name of the building, rather it is the date construction was completed, 1939. The letters are Roman numerals. A numbering system invented by the Romans some 3,000 years ago. The system is a simple one. I is 1, V is 5, X is 10, L is 50, C is 100, D is 500, and M is 1,000. In Roman numerals, the number 3 is expressed as 3 I's. The number 8 is expressed as a V and 3 I's. The number 68 is LXV, 3 I's. 168 is CLXV, 3 I's. 1168 is MCLXV, 3 I's, and so on. There was one slightly tricky adjustment when it came to writing 4s and 9s. In Roman numerals, every time a letter representing a smaller number is placed in front of a letter representing a larger number, the smaller number is subtracted from the larger number. For instance, instead of writing 4 as 4 eyes, the Romans would write IV, 5 minus 1, which is 4. Thus, the number 9 is IX, 19 is XIX, 49 is XLIX, 109 is CIX, 1109 is MCIX, and 1949 is MCMXLIX. Interestingly, the numbering system the Romans developed, unlike the Arabic system which we use, had no symbol for 0. Oh, and one more thing. You may have noticed the 3 C's etched into the stone below the Roman numerals. This does not represent the number 300. Rather, the letters stand for the men that built the station, the Civilian Conservation Corps. See the poster on the wall beside you. Park Ranger Jeff Akers was born and raised in Tyrone, Pennsylvania. Upon graduation from Norris High School in 1989, he attended Penn State, where he earned a bachelor's degree in Park and Recreation Management. He has been the park ranger at Moon Lake State Park since 1996. Because he spent much of his childhood at Moon Lake, he is excited about introducing the visitors what he calls the best state park in the country. From geology to astronomy to meteorology, Ranger Akers knows his stuff. So if you have any questions, just ask. He's here to serve. We did read most of these, so yeah, no. We saw the boating regulations stuff. We saw this. There are no designated swimming areas in Moon Lake. I actually didn't see them. This means that while swimming is not prohibited, visitors will have to rely on their own judgment when it comes to where and when to swim. Inflatable rafts and flotation devices may be used, but bear in mind that when it's windy, such devices and their passengers may easily wind up being blown onto the southeastern shore of the lake. Also, no emergency vessels are available to perform water rescues. The bottom line is enjoy Moon Lake, but do so at your own risk. It did not tell us about the trails, though, so maybe let's read this. Some of the most interesting day hikes in the state are found at Moon Lake State Park. All trails begin on the north side of the information center and are well marked with signs and blazes painted on trees. The Halfa Lake Loop is moderate to easy 7.3-mile loop that allows hikers to walk from the east side of the lake to the southwest side and then back again without retracing their steps. The northernmost section of the hike is rocky and challenging, but the spectacular views of Moon Lake to the south and Gribbly Gulch to the north make the effort worthwhile. The Maryberry Bog Trail is a flat 3.3 miles out and back hike that went through a wetland where blueberries once flourished. Hikers are advised to wear waterproof boots. The Blueberry Patch Cannon will rejuvenate itself if hikers stay on the trail picking poison sumac. Can also be found in the bog, another reason to stay on the trail. The Lenape Creek Trail follows a creek through rugged but beautiful canyon where Native Americans used to hunt and fish. Although time and tourists have destroyed almost all traces of their presence, some hikers have reported finding arrowheads along the trail. This moderately difficult fight is 5.4 miles out and back. The Mingos Saddle Trail, which is 4.1 miles one way, connects Moon Lake with 19-mile-long Delaware Bridge Trail, which in turn links up with the great 2,000-mile-long Appalachian Trail. Because it is infrequently used, creatures of both field and forest abound all along the trail. The 10 essentials of hiking are water, food, clothing, matches, compass, map, first aid kit, hat, sunscreen, and common sense, which isn't all that common these days. While in Moon Lake State Park, except when being transported by boat or car, dogs must be kept on a leash at all times. There are no exceptions. In no areas of the park are dogs allowed to run loose. A dog leash may not exceed 6 feet in length. Mechanically retractable dog leashes of any length are acceptable. Dog owners or handlers may have a maximum of 2 dogs under the supervision of one dog. Owners must clean up after their dogs immediately and dispose of all waste materials in a safe and appropriate manner. Dogs whose behavior have a negative impact on other wild dogs, wildlife, vegetation, or people will not be tolerated. If you cannot control your dog, leave it home. And fishing, which is basically what we already saw, so I'm not gonna delve deep into that one. So that's that thing. And I'm gonna go back to the mansion. Not the mansion. This is not message in a house. So we're gonna go back to the house.
American goldfinch, northern cardinal, red-tailed hawk,
4 of them from that. I'm gonna go into the forest and not do the water testing just yet because I want to do something. So basically, when we get the laundry, go right and then left. This is where the left. Okay, so that was the third one that I was missing, because I knew there was supposed to be 3. Because I got the blue, the yellow, and the orange. The yellow handkerchief. I'm gonna go right to leave the woods. At the log, go right. Yeah, it is right. And at the fallen tree, go left. So what we're gonna do now is do the water testing. I did not want, no, I'm not pumping more water in. What the, oh, no, that's gonna spill all over me. Or not, I guess spills aren't a thing in this game, but anyway. Gotta go back to Ranger Air. I know we were there for
You're back.
I have that water sample. What do I do with it?
Just give it to me, and I'll take care of it.
Thanks for all your help.
Not a problem.
That is actually the only thing we're gonna do here. We're gonna go right back to Sally's. And now we're gonna set the game to nighttime. I was never gonna get that damn bird picture. Because I need that sandpaper.
You find all the birds?
I found some birds, but no matter how quiet I am, I've been scaring other birds away before I can take their picture. What am I doing wrong?
You're wearing those clothes. That's what you're doing wrong. You need to blend in, like me. Go back over to M's tacky tourist trap and get yourself some camouflage gear. Only sensible thing that money grubber carries.
I'm sorry to keep bugging you, but I need some sandpaper. Emily said you might have some?
Here, take it and scram. I was just about to call in a meadowlark. That was always Ruth's favorite.
Was Ruth your wife?
Good heavens, no. My wife had no patience for birding. Ruth was my dog. Border collie. She'd hear a meadowlark, and by golly, her ears would perk, and she'd cock her head, and she'd just come as close to smiling as ever a dog could.
Was she the only dog you ever had?
Yep. Wouldn't be worth the hassle anymore. Especially now that I'm retired and spend so much time at Moon Lake. The place is surrounded by park land, and Ranger Acres just loves enforcing the leash laws. There it is again. Take your sandpaper and go sand something, okay?
That was the plan. Okay, so I think at least some of it is just people generally don't love law enforcement. Love to see that, but also some of this against Ranger Acres is still feeling a little microaggressive.
It's stuck.
Alright, now we're gonna rotate the statues. Oh, there's a panel there. Okay, I like that it automatically equips it. We're in the basement.
It could be mice making that sound. It's blocked. William Acres? I wonder if he's related to Jeff Acres.
For context, the truth about Mickey Malone is told by his most trusted employee, William Acres. Mr. Malone has never spent a night in jail, and he never will, said William Acres. And you know why? Because this is ordinary Joe trying to run an ordinary business. He said this with such conviction that for a moment this reporter honestly thought Acres was talking about somebody other than Mickey Malone, the notorious gangster. But I was standing on the porch of Malone's getaway home at Moon Lake, having bushwhacked thick brush from the east side of the lake to avoid detection and probable eviction by his bodyguards. And I was talking to the man who, according to the police, is the only person Malone trusts. I don't know, I see him every day, Acres went on. He doesn't deserve all the grief you newspaper hacks give him. He's a rich man because his laundromats are fine establishments, and people like to wash their clothes there. All this talk about him being a bootlickers was plain hogwash. When I asked if I could talk to Malone, Acres said Malone was out walking. Like I said, he's an ordinary guy who likes to do ordinary things. But I asked if I could wait for him. He said, what for? Anything you want to know about Mickey Malone, I can tell you. I've worked for him for 15 years. I said, all I wanted was the truth. He said, then you're in luck because that's what I just told you. And now I suggest you leave. Mickey is a swell guy, but he's got these 4 big dogs, see, and sometimes they don't mind so good. I took the hint and left, but as I struggled through the brush to get back to my car, I realized something. Acres hadn't told me the truth about what Mickey Malone did. I knew that, but he had told me an important truth that when it came to Mickey Malone was someone who had at least one extremely loyal employee. I ask you, good citizens of Philadelphia, how many so-called legitimate businessmen can say the same thing? I do love how there is a Houdini thing right there. And we break out through that door that was locked earlier. So that's interesting. It is the morning. Love the lack of music, but I want to call Sally before I do anything.
Hello?
Hey, Sally, it's Nancy.
Nancy, hi, how's it going?
Talk to you later.
Keep me posted.
Okay, now we gotta go confront Acres about the newspaper that we found. Spy I see.
You're back.
I found a newspaper dating back to 1927 in Sally's house. Since you're kind of an expert on the history of Moon Lake, do you mind if I ask you some questions about Mickey Malone?
Not at all.
The article mentioned that a man named William Akers used to work for Malone. Is he a relative of yours?
No. Quite a coincidence, I'll admit, but no. I am in no way related to the head flunky of some two-bit gangster and his gang of thugs.
I've been trying to take pictures of birds for this guy named Red Knot. Ever met him?
Oh yes, the Birdman. I'd stay away from him if I were you.
Why? Is something wrong with him?
He's a fanatic. He's got it in his head that Moon Lake would be the best bird-watching venue in the world except for one thing. Too many people. Believe me, if there was a way to get this park shut down and all the homes on the lake torn down, he'd do it in an instant.
When and why was Malone arrested?
I'm sorry, Miss Drew. As usual, I'm a little pressed for time. If you have more questions, why don't you sit down at the computer and peruse the Moon Lake database of fascinating factoids that I've put together?
What happened to Akers and the rest of Malone's gang after he went to prison?
Fortunately for Moon Lake, they all left and went their separate ways.
Have you gotten the results back from that water sample I left with you?
I meant to call the Department of Health today for a status report, but frankly, I've been way too busy.
Sounds like Moon Lake could use 2 rangers.
If I were in charge of just 10 more acres of parkland, they'd give me an assistant, and I could devote more time to the acquisition of more land and eventually put Moon Lake on the map as one of the biggest, most popular parks in the state.
Why didn't the Parks Department buy the Malone property instead of Sally?
She outbid them, the cheapskates.
Well, if those dogs scare Sally away for good, other people are bound to think twice about buying the place. The bank will lower its price, and you'll have your land.
You're insinuating things again, Miss Drew.
I'm sorry, I really am. It's just that Sally's my friend, and I'd really like to find out why someone's doing this to her.
Tell you what, if you're serious about making amends, there's some boxes by the computer labeled with dates. They're from the estate of a local history buff. She kept everything from newspaper clippings to old photos to recipes for apple crisp. She put everything in envelopes, then numbered them by year using Roman numerals. Just put the envelopes in order by year with the earliest date in front. Oh, and if you're rusty on Roman numerals, there's an entry on them in the computer.
Okay if I read what's in the envelopes?
Don't go reading anything until you're through. Or take my word for it, you'll never get finished.
Thanks for all your help.
That's why I'm here.
I don't know if... That is a real dog that notably looks absolutely nothing like those dogs, so I think we can rule them out.
Let's see. Jeff said the envelope with the earliest date goes down in the front of each box. Now that they're all sorted, I can do some reading.
Oh, that was it? Oh, wow, okay. So this is one of the ones we can read. Is Gangster about to become Moon Lake's newest home? Rumors are flying thick and fast that Mickey Malone, a self-proclaimed captain of industry with far more ties to gamblers and smugglers than to legitimate businessmen, is building a house on the North Shore of Moon Lake. The rumor started last June when the 10-acre property on which the house is being built was purchased by the Philadelphia Dead Insides, a company owned by Malone, which is widely believed to be merely a front for his criminal undertakings. Secrecy has shrouded the project ever since construction began in October of last year. 4 men in a locked gate blocked the driveway leading to the site. Unauthorized persons and vehicles are summarily turned away. Day and night, security guards control the heavily wooded lakefront property. Several large trucks strategically parked are adding off views of the site from the water. The workmen have been sworn to silence. When asked if Mickey Malone was indeed building a home on Moon Lake, Waldo Matthias, the agent spearheading the Department of Justice's investigation of Malone's activities, had a witness to say, "If he is, I suggest you live it up all he can, because the place we're going to be sending him to ain't no beaches. He'll be there for a real long time." The Mr. Malone could not be Richard Conrad. Gangster nabbed at Moon Lake residence, Mickey Malone arrested right at his luxurious Moon Lake property. Mickey Malone, a Philadelphia businessman long considered by police to be a bootlegger and racketeer, finally felt the same sort of justice when he was arrested this morning at his house on Moon Lake. Careful to keep Malone's attack dogs at bay, agents from the IRS and the Department of Justice raided the lakefront home at dawn, catching Malone and his victim completely by surprise. Within seconds, Malone was handcuffed, wearing only an overcoat over his pajamas. He was swept out the door and into a waiting car. He was driven directly to Philadelphia, where he was jailed on charges of tax evasion and conspiracy to violate prohibition laws. The police have been wise to Malone's criminal activities for years, but 3 previous attempts to incarcerate him failed miserably when Malone's shadowy associates, through bribes and threats, forced prosecution witnesses to recant their stories. This time, federal agents attempted to rely on ledgers and taxes in the case. Since 1927 was determined that even income gained through illegal means is taxable, authorities have been eager to use this ruling to make thugs like Malone pay for their crimes. Mickey Malone's been making us look like fools for a long time, declared Bureau of Investigation agent Walter Mathias, but today the good guys finally got the last laugh, or did they? Malone loudly and repeatedly proclaimed that he'd done nothing wrong as he was left in jail. However, his protestations of innocence abruptly went. Apparently not wishing to be photographed in his pajamas, Malone took a swing at the press photographer. He was quickly subdued. Michael Mickey Malone died yesterday of liver failure in the federal penitentiary at Leavenworth, Kansas, at the age of 52. Born in Newark, New Jersey in 1889, Malone owned and operated Philadelphia Duds & Sons, a chain of laundromats and dry cleaners that allowed him to disguise and disperse the money he made as a racketeer. Compared to other gangsters, Malone kept a relatively low profile. His desire for privacy was enforced by 4 large dogs who never left his side. He was rumored to be involved in everything from run running to gold heists. He never spent a single night in jail until he was arrested in 1932 for tax evasion. He was convicted the following year and was sentenced to 8 years in federal prison. He died just 2 months before he was scheduled to be released. There's gold in them, there are sandbars. Dragging Man is a drag for Pennsylvania treasure hunter. At least that's the experience of Emily Griffin, owner of M's Emporium on Moon Lake in central Pennsylvania. For the past 10 years, she's been dragging a heavy net back and forth along the bottom of the lake, uncovering and bringing to the surface relics from the 1920s. I dredged up everything from diamond tiaras to skeleton keys to full bottles of French cognac, said Griffin. It just blows my mind that those people would drop back then and never bother going back for. She was referring to the wealthy guest of gangster Mickey Malone, who went home on the lake in 1925 and threw large, raucous parties almost every weekend. Because his guests would travel to and from the house by boat, personal items were lost overboard with great frequency. Miss Griffin estimates that she spent close to $20,000 selling her friends antique hunters and tourists. But last week, her windfall came to an end. The county in which Moon Lake is located passed an ordinance marking the recovery of objects in the lake but illegal. Then arose from the fact that the bottom of Moon Lake is composed of unusually fine sand. When disturbed, it clouds the water, sometimes for days, posing a threat to the aquatic plants and fish that otherwise thrive there. Park ranger Jeff Akers, who oversees the state park surrounding the lake, initiated the ban. The good balance of Moon Lake is simply too delicate to ignore, he contends. Miss Griffin begs to differ. The whole thing's just plumb ridiculous, she says. You know what all that stuff down there is doing right now? It's rusting, it's rotting away, polluting the water. Heck, by getting it out of there, I'm doing the county a favor. Unfortunately, the county doesn't see it that way, and it appears Miss Griffin will have to abandon what has become a pleasantly profitable hobby. Oh, I don't know, she shrieks. I can still sell the stuff that washes up on shore. That happens, you know, especially after a good storm. So I may be down, she says, I assume, but I ain't necessarily out. Money will get flushed out this toilet. Watch the Septics Roadshow. Monday nights on the Plumbing Broadcast Service. Check your local listings for broadcast times. Alright, back to Acres we go.
You're back.
I noticed you have a dog.
That's Yogi, who never goes out unless he's on a leash. Park rules.
He seems very well trained.
I hope you're not suggesting I trained Yogi to run around in the middle of the night barking and attacking houses.
Yeah, okay, Nancy's white woman has been kind of showing, like, this entire day.
I finished putting all those envelopes in order.
Excellent. Thank you, Miss Drew. And to show my gratitude, I've got something for you.
It doesn't involve Roman numerals, does it?
No, it's an honorary Junior Park Ranger pin. I keep them on hand so I can give them out to children whom I see demonstrating respect for park rules and regulations. A little bit of positive reinforcement. Unfortunately, I don't get to give them out that often.
Oh, gee, thanks, Ranger Acres. Thanks for all
I feel
your
like we
help.
could have ended
Always
the
a
conversation with that. Like, we're not actually gonna go inside the house. We're gonna go around the back. So, now, since we got the date of his death, we can say
It's blocked. It's blocked. It looks like a tiny hole. What's the combination? I bet those were deer mice.
this is William Akers, his journal. Today, Mickey went to prison with him and walking on the patio wagon. He told me to take care of his dogs when the time came to do their tombstones like he told me. Then he whispered to me to look under the Victorola in the speakeasy at Moon Lake. He set up on a map to the gold he stole 2 years ago. Then they strapped him in the wagon, that was that. Poor Mickey, how's a guy who never spent one night in jail, so spent 8 years in prison? He'll never make it. I think he wants you to have the gold because deep down he knows he's never coming home. Anyway, I looked under the Victorola and found the map. The problem is there's nothing on it except a bunch of lines and the words that dogs will lead the way. There's no X marking the spot for directions or nothing, but I need money bad. My wife and baby haven't had anything decent. Even months I'm gonna pack them up and move to Moon Lake and permanently so I can spend all my time looking for the gold. May 4th, 1933. Mickey never told me outright that he was the guy that pulled out the hole in the floor gold heist. He always said the less I knew, the healthier I'd stay. But according to the papers, a bunch of gold was stolen off a moving train right under the nose of about a dozen Pinkertons. Mickey must have greased somebody's palm real good and gotten cut a hole in the floor of the boxcar the gold was getting shifted. After the gold was loaded, one of the boys crawled under the train and pulled himself into the box cab. Then, when the train was moving, he dropped the gold down the hole onto the tracks. Mickey's boys picked it up and got away clean. Nobody ever suspected Mickey was behind it. So what I'm looking for is about 20 gold bars. The paper said altogether they weighed about 600 pounds. The question is, did Mickey hide them in one place or did he spread them around? He must have buried them, but where? I just thought of something. Maybe Mickey trained his guys to go to the gold if you say the right word. I'm gonna try sending gold to them tomorrow and see what happens. July 14th, 1933. I said every word I can think of to all the dogs. They haven't led me anywhere except around in circles. The last one following them around, first Xander, then Vitus, then Lucy. And I have to follow Iggy because all he does sleep on the porch, so it looks like I'm gonna have to start digging out. Dig under the porch first, seeing as that's where Iggy always is. October 21st, 1933. A month ago, I started working as a handyman over in Lewistown in McGansby. So even though I stopped by Mickey's every day to feed the dogs, I can only look for the golden night. I dug all around under the porch, so I didn't find nothing. We're at the porch on the map with a big eye for Iggy because that's the place it always leads me to. I'm so busy digging last Tuesday night that I almost wasn't there when my son was born. We're calling him Joe. His big sister's real happy. She's baby Joe's just like the dog she's always wanted, but we can never work together. Truth is, we can't really afford Joe neither. I keep writing to Mickey asking him to please tell me straight out where the gold is. He never writes back. I guess I'll just have to keep digging. September 9th, 1935. Now I spend all my free time digging in the woods. I dig around everything that could be around my logs, rocks, tree stones, and I never find nothing. Plus I keep getting lost. The paths look so much alike, especially at night, that I try to spend most of my time trying to figure out where I am. So last Sunday I memorized the way to the cemetery. It's L-R-R-L-L-R-R-L-L-R-L-L-R-L. February 11th, 1939. Even though Mickey never allowed the dogs in Speakeasy or the tunnels, I've been looking for the gold because I looked everywhere else I could think but got nowhere. Last week I figured out that Mickey changed the password to Spigots and Speakeasy. This got my hopes up, because the way I figured out why would Mickey choose the code without telling me unless he was hiding something. When I finally figured out the new code, I didn't find nothing in the tunnel that opened up that wasn't there before. Why Mickey spent all that money on pictures of those dogs I'll never understand. I give up. Mickey's dead, and so are all his dogs. I'll never find the gold. I got a good job offer over in Harrisburg, and I'm going to take it. Little Joe and Sarah deserve a better life than they've gotten so far, and it's high time Callie got a nice silent husband who doesn't spend all his time chasing after something he can't find. But I'm leaving this journal here, because who knows, maybe someday I'll suddenly remember something Mickey said, and it'll finally hit me where he hid the gold. Maybe I'll come back here and find it after all, but in the meantime, I got my family. They're what's important, their treasure enough.
The dogs will lead the way. I wonder what that means.
Now there's a couple of things we need to go do once you've read the journal. Go back to Acres and let's see if there's anything we can talk to Acres about, because I already asked about the water thing.
You're back.
What can you tell me about the gold that Malone supposedly buried on his property?
As far as I know, it doesn't exist. It's just one of those rumors people want to believe, so they do.
Thanks for all your help.
That's why I'm here.
We're gonna go to M's too, because we have something to ask her about.
Nice Junior Park Ranger pen. You must really be on Acres' good side.
Any word from Tucker, what's his name? He hasn't been by to move that tree yet.
I'll give him another call. But like I said, the man marches to the beat of another drummer. A very slow drummer.
I mean, I've already asked Acres, so I might as
Does the
well
name
ask.
Waldo Matthias mean anything to you?
Can't say as it does.
Where do you find your... Achoo!
Bless you. It's all the dust. Sometimes I think it grows on this stuff.
Some of those old bottles are beautiful. Where'd you get them?
Found 'em. See, back in the days of Prohibition, that old Malone place used to be Party Central. Only way to get to and from back then was by boat. And when those boats dumped, on account of bad weather or bad driving or the feds suddenly showing up, well, everything from diamond necklaces to full bottles of illegal booze sank to the bottom of the lake.
But isn't recovering objects from the lake bed illegal?
Yeah, but you see, these things washed up on shore. All I did was pick 'em up, and neither Squeaky Wheel Acres nor anybody else can prove different.
Squeaky Wheel Acres?
Jeff Acres, local park ranger. I keep telling him all this stuff washed up on shore. But does that snobby little stickler for rules believe me?
Sounds like you aren't real fond of Ranger Acres.
Jeff Acres could take all his precious rules and regulations and take a flying leap. Now, I got nothing against getting more customers in here, mind you. But I kind of like Moon Lake the way it is. Small, quiet, out of the way. But Jeff Acres, why, there's nothing he'd like better than to see all the lake and all the property around it turned into one big, noisy, jam-packed state park.
Why would he want that?
He's the type of guy who likes to boss people around, makes them feel important. So if the park got way bigger and was crawling with tourists, why, instead of giving out maybe one ticket for littering every 2 days, he'd be giving out 12 tickets every 2 hours. He'd be in heaven. Well, hey, I'm sure you got better things to do than getting your ear chewed off by yours truly.
I found an old newspaper in Sally's house that contained an article on Mickey Malone. It really got my curiosity going. What else can you tell me about him?
Person you should talk to is Jeff Acres. He's got this historical museum thing going out at that ranger station of his.
How do I get to the museum?
Just up lake from Sally's on the east side.
To make a long story short, I need some camouflage gear.
Got some right over here. One size fits all. But I'm running kind of low on bait. So if you go out and get me Oh, say a dozen little critters. I'll give you the camos.
You got a deal. So, what kind of bait do you need?
Worms, spiders, beetles, grubs. Anything that wriggles on its belly will do. Just look under stuff. Rocks, logs, dead leaves. Should be able to find 12 in no time.
Do I need some kind of permit?
Things ain't quite that bad around here. At least not yet. Now, if Jeff Akers' daddy was still around, you might get arrested for cruelty to animals or some such nonsense. Joe Akers used to be the deputy sheriff. Real critter lover that one was.
Joe Akers is Jeff's father?
That's right.
Do you know anything about the gold that Mickey Malone supposedly buried somewhere on his property?
All I got to say about it is, if there really was a bunch of gold buried somewhere and nobody ever found it, it's for darn sure nobody ever will. Not with them dogs up there.
Guess I'll see you later.
Always a pleasure.
Something tells me I'm actually going to hate this next part of the gameplay, because bug hunting. Okay, here we go. Let's go right first. Because you go right. You go right and right again. There's one. There's that log there. Someone's shoe that I can't do anything with. That one also doesn't really do anything, so. Oh yeah, no, because I went right first, and then basically didn't find anything, so. Fallen tree. Actually, I'm gonna go straight. Something tells me I'm gonna end up scaring.
Missed it.
I mean, I wasn't trying to get that one just yet, so. am not here for the bird pictures. Yeah, there's a log right there. This one doesn't have anything, so we're gonna leave it alone. Now, we want... Because we want to know where the bird is, so we want to go... We'll go straight at the log first. We don't find anything. To the ribbon. Leads you to the ribbon. We're gonna go right first. Then left. We go right here, we end up at another juncture. Going right first does not lead to anything.
Looks like paw prints.
Bloody tree stump. I've only got 2 of them.
Darn, it flew away.
I think it might be one we already got, though. I feel like I'm missing things, but I don't know what. Very few things you can actually check. got the third one. You find the shoe, and the shoe doesn't wield anything. Here you can't get anything either. You're supposed to be able to get like 7 of them. Into a log. Doesn't let us look at it well. Where can we move it? You go away from it, you can either go left. Right, which also doesn't yield anything. Wow. I have no idea what these darn bugs are.
Those look too rotten.
want to go to... Okay, so we want to go into the forest, go right. We want to go to the yellow bird. Let's go right. That's, I think, all 7 we can get during the day. Okay, here we go. I think I have to switch to nighttime for the other ones. Now we're gonna do the entire bug hunt in one go, because I feel like it. We do need to go back to that log by where the bluebird is. As 2 of them are under it. And then we have to go pretty much all the way to the cemetery. Right, we're up to 11. At the yellow ribbon. That's a good sign. We want to go right. Oh, there we go. There's the last one. Got him. Whew. Thank God that's over. were the stairs again? Oh, here they are. Now let's go action.
Hey, Nancy, how's the bait finding coming along?
Got him right here.
Well, now, you done all right for a city gal. Here you go. Hope whatever you're hiding from won't catch you. How you holding up?
These so-called ghost dogs left very real paw prints. I saw some near the cemetery that's by the Malone house. Have you ever been there?
Can't say as I have. Poking around cemeteries ain't exactly a hobby with me.
Guess I'll see you later.
You betcha.
She does not look enthused about Nancy Drew's existence whatsoever. Now we're gonna go into the forest again because now that we have the camouflage gear, we can... We're not going that way. We're going this way. Alright, there's 4. So now we want to go to the log. Then left, right, see the yellow ribbon. Alright, there's 5, and we're not going to be able to get the 6th one just yet, so... That was not where I wanted to go, actually. Now we got to go talk to Red about the one last one, because he's the only one that's gonna know where it is.
How's the bird watching coming along?
I just can't seem to find a red-tailed hawk. Any suggestions?
Well, there's gotta be lots around here. You haven't been going around wearing sunglasses and earmuffs, have you?
Where am I most likely to see one?
Well, according to my bird map, they like to nest in the big tree that's just to the southwest of the Malone house. I suggest you park yourself nearby and wait. Bound to spot one sooner or later.
Mickey Malone supposedly buried a bunch of stolen gold bars on his property way back in the 20s. Did you know that?
Really? That's interesting. I don't much care, but it's interesting.
So you don't know anything about it?
Nope.
See you in a while.
Watch yourself out there.
Will do.
Well, I don't see any hawks, but this is probably the tree Red was talking about. At least it was the tree. That sounded like a hawk. There it is. I better get a picture before it takes off.
Oh god, it's not gonna let me save the game. I was gonna try to save the game.
Hey, what is that hawk standing on? Oh, that looks like a speaker.
Oh.
Huh? I better get out of here. My arms and legs are tied. I can't move. At least I can kick. If I could just get that scythe down, I could use the blade to cut the rope around my wrists and free my hands.
Come on, can get rolling. It literally ignited the can. I don't know what you want me to do. Oh, fuck. Yeah, we died. Oh, that was the thing. There we go.
I can't just let this thing burn up. I've got to put it out.
What in blazes happened? I saw the fire from my platform and came running. You weren't in there playing with matches, were you?
I was looking at birds, and then I noticed something on the house, and the next thing I knew, I was locked in the tool shed and somebody was setting it on fire.
Whoa, you're not making much sense. Probably smoke inhalation or something. Come talk to me after you've cleaned yourself up and gotten some sleep. I need to tell you something.
Somebody tried to kill you?
I didn't say that.
Somebody knocked you out, locked you in a shed, set it on fire, and you think they were, what, just pulling a prank? Wake up and smell the hostile vibes, Nancy.
I guess it's just hard for me to believe that anybody would consider me to be that big a threat.
I should have never let you stay there by yourself.
Sally, I'm fine. I feel bad about your tool shed, though.
Who cares about the shed? It was full of junk anyway. I'm glad to be rid of it.
That's kind of the way Ranger Akers saw it, too. He showed up right after the birdwatcher did and ticketed me for burning refuse in a manner that endangered park property.
That man is insufferable.
Emily was nice, though. She came by right afterwards and wouldn't leave until I drank the tea she made for me.
Look, Nancy, one more time. If you want to leave, just say the word and I'll come get you.
Sally, one more time. I'm fine.
Well, then promise me you'll be careful, okay?
I promise. I'll be in touch.
You better.
Okay, I think we have to switch it back over to night, so...
I'd better wait until daylight.
an apology. After you came up here looking for those red tails, I gave my map a closer look and realized it was more than 50 years old. Reason you can't find them is probably because their favorite nesting tree is gone. Finding that hawk's gonna be harder than I thought, so why don't you just give me back my camera and I'll take it from here. It didn't get burned up in that fire or anything, did it?
You'll be happy to know that I did get a picture of a red-tailed hawk. So here's your camera back. I got all the birds.
Thank you, Nancy. Nice work. You're a credit to your generation.
I never noticed those gas cans before.
I ran out of gas. So much for being prepared, huh? Well, that's all I wanted to tell you. I'm sure you've got places to go, things to see, people to pester.
See you in a while.
Just remember, eyes open, mouth shut.
Okay, let's go ahead and go to Ebbs and ask her, everything.
How you holding up?
Guess I'll see you later.
I guess you will.
I guess I don't have anything to talk to you about, actually. I thought I did.
You're back.
Sorry to bother you again, but did those results from the water test come in yet?
There's something here for you from the State Department of Health.
Okay, yeah, let's grab this. Initial test found high letters of arsenic in the sample.
Oh my gosh, not only is the water bad, but it seems like the well may have been contaminated deliberately.
I wouldn't go jumping to conclusions without proof, Ms. Drew. I'm sure there's a far less melodramatic explanation.
Where's Yogi?
In the run, out back. Even out of sight, he's under my full control, as park rules require.
What do you know about a man named Joe Akers?
Why do you ask?
I understand he used to be the deputy here.
So?
According to Emily Griffin, Deputy Joe Akers was your father, and according to the journal I found, William Akers' son was named Joe. Another coincidence?
All right. William Akers was my grandfather.
And you don't want anyone to know that.
It's not exactly something I'm proud of. My father spent his whole life trying to make people forget what my grandfather was, and trying to make sure people who didn't know what he was never found out. I've been doing the same thing.
What did William Akers do after Malone was arrested?
I'm afraid you're going to have to excuse me, Miss Drew. In case you've forgotten, I'm a very busy man. I apologize for my previous behavior.
That was fast.
As a park ranger, I strive to keep my personal feelings in check at all times, and that time I failed. It's my duty as a public servant to try to make it up to you. What would you like to know?
Did your grandfather ever find any gold on Malone's property?
If he did, he never spent it. He wasn't poor when he died, but he certainly wasn't rich.
Thanks for all your help.
Not a problem.
That close. And the speaker's not there. Okay, we did actually see the paw prints, but there's like... So we went to that, and we get that. Okay, this game takes a lot longer than I thought it would.
You're back.
I found this old picture in Sally's house. Do you know who these people are?
The man is Mickey Malone, I know that. I'm guessing that this is his girlfriend, Vivian Burnett, I think her name was. And judging by the year of that brand new Ford in the background, I'd say the picture was taken in 1928.
She was probably as familiar with Malone's house and his dogs as he was. Think there's any chance she's still alive?
Tell you what, Miss Drew. Why don't I go through my files and see what I can dig up on this mystery woman? I'm a busy man, but like I always say, I'm here to serve.
Thanks for all your help.
Always a pleasure.
Is it though? Yes, I did literally just switch it to night just so I could switch it to morning.
Good news. I have information on your mystery woman.
Thank you so much. Is she still alive?
Her name these days is Vivian Whitmore. She lives in Las Vegas, and her number is 702-555-9137.
Thanks for all your help.
That's why I'm here.
702-555-9137. Okay. Oh.
If you're selling something, hang up right now. I got an air horn in my hand that could deafen a dinosaur, and I'm not afraid to use it.
Oh, no, please. I'm not selling anything. Believe me. Is this Vivian Whitmore?
Maybe it is, maybe it isn't. You got exactly 5 seconds to state your business.
My name is Nancy Drew. I'm calling from Moon Lake, Pennsylvania. I just wanted to ask you some questions.
Oh, right. The Moon Lake Park Ranger said you might call. But you have to talk fast. An old friend of mine is flying in today from Florida. And when I say old, I mean old, as in 5 years older than I am. Don't bother trying to do the math, sweet stuff. You'll hurt yourself. So, that ranger fella said you found an old picture of me.
That's right. I found it in the cellar of Mickey Malone's old house on Moon Lake.
Moon Lake. Talk about your fond memories. I had a lot of fun there. Although I wasn't anywhere near as wild as most young people were back then.
Was that
but
so?
I think Mickey kind of respected me for that. I was his gal for 5 years. He always kept birch beer on tap at that speakeasy of his just for me.
I found a safe in the cellar there.
You must be talking about the wall safe. That was Willie's. He was a guy who worked for Mickey.
Willie, as in William Akers. What can you tell me about him?
He was Mickey's most trusted employee. Mickey treated all his other men like dirt, but not Willie. He honestly liked Willie, respected him, trusted him implicitly.
William Akers, the guy you call Willie. He wrote about looking for the gold that Malone had supposedly buried on his property at Moon Lake. Do you know anything about that?
The hole in the floor gold heist. Well, I'll be darned.
That was the name Akers used too. What else can you tell me?
Truth be told, when Mickey told me he was the one who pulled off that heist and that he'd buried 20 gold bars at Moon Lake, I didn't believe him. I thought he was making it up. See, Mickey and I were on the outs by then. I thought he was just trying to entice me to come back. But if he told Willie the same thing, maybe there's something to the story after all.
Did he ever say anything to you about a map?
Yes. He said he was making a treasure map and that... the dogs. Something about those dogs of his.
The dogs will lead the way?
He was always saying that. In fact, I'm pretty sure he had it engraved on his tombstone. Think, Viv, think. He said he was making a treasure map and that he was also having paintings done of each dog. He made it sound like one thing had something to do with the other, like he was giving me some big important clue. But I just figured he was playing games, trying to lure me back with mystery and intrigue. I told him to buzz off. Maybe I shouldn't have.
William Akers had some kind of map in the back of his journal. Do you think that's the treasure map Malone mentioned?
It's possible. But knowing Mickey, he probably made the map so obscure that poor Willie couldn't make heads or tails of it. Mickey loved to tease people like that, made him feel smart. But feeling smart isn't the same as being smart. He died in prison, you know. No family, no friends. That's about as stupid as you can get.
What can you tell me about Malone's speakeasy?
It was in the basement, right there at Moon Lake. Feds never knew about it, but everybody who was anybody on the East Coast back then, actors, musicians, bankers, politicians, they knew. You weren't big time unless you'd made at least one trip to Moon Lake Mickey's.
That's weird. I'm staying in his old house on Moon Lake, and I haven't seen any sign of a speakeasy.
Of course you haven't. You're not supposed to. Only Mickey and Willie knew how to get into the speakeasy from the house. The rest of us had to go in and out the regular way, through the cemetery.
The cemetery?
There was a lock hidden in one of the tombstones in that little cemetery behind the house. You needed a key to unlock it, and when you did, stairs would appear that led to the speakeasy.
Do you have any idea how to get into Malone's speakeasy from the house?
I sure don't. That saloon was built using two main ingredients, concrete and secrecy. Mickey always bragged that nobody could get in unless he wanted them in, and I do believe he was right. But I'll tell you what, if you send me that picture of me and Mickey, I'll send you my key.
The key to the tombstone? You still have it?
It's in the bottom of my jewelry box. I've come this close to throwing it out 100 times, but it's so small, and the memories it brings back are so big. Well, I just couldn't, as a joke. Mickey had a tombstone made with the name of this federal agent who had it out for him, inscribed on it. That's the one the key unlocks.
Did Malone say what he was going to do with those paintings of his dogs?
He said he was going to hang them in the speakeasy, and I'm sure that's precisely what he did.
Can you remember anything about Malone's dogs that might suggest where he hid the gold?
I stayed away from his dogs. They made me nervous, always jumping around, barking at this or that. The only one I liked was, what was his name? Iggy! I liked Iggy because he was nice and quiet. He just lay on the porch all day and didn't make a peep.
It's been fun talking to you.
I'll be suing you.
So you think.
Hello again, mister. Am I in for another interrogation?
I'd like to mail this photo to the woman in Las Vegas. Can you do that for me?
As always, I'm here to serve, Miss Drew. Just give it to me and I'll take care of it. I'm sure she'll be very pleased to get this back.
Thanks for all your help.
That's why I'm here.
And okay, we go back to and okay, now we basically just have to do a bunch of sleeping. No, we're just gonna sleep for 2 days.
Just arrived for you from Las Vegas.
Great. Vivian sent me the key.
I'll dispose of the package. Wouldn't want to break any littering laws, would we?
Thanks for all your help.
That's why I'm here.
Which way we're supposed to go from the log? Okay, yeah, you go left, right? You go left, and then you go left to the ribbon too. Then left and then right. And then left to the south. Oh, that's funny.
It's too dark. I need a flashlight. Oh, the batteries are going dead. I can't see a thing. I'd better go back. It's silly to try to explore this in the dark.
Oh, that's a relief. Okay, I actually thought I was gonna die down there. Okay, we gotta go get batteries from at some point.
How you holding up?
I need flashlight batteries. Do you carry them?
Yep. But I've been meaning to make a pretty display out of them packs of combo cola over there for the longest time. Just can't seem to get around to it.
In other words, you'd like me to give it a shot.
Here's the way it should look when you're done.
Ta-da! One smiling goldfish. It's obviously never tried combo cola.
Hey, Nancy, this mean you got them cans stacked?
You bet. They look just like the picture you gave me, which you can have back.
Here's your batteries, and thanks, Nancy. How you doing?
Guess I'll see you later.
Always a pleasure.
Come on, come on, come on. Okay, so the other tombstones do actually mean anything. There is nothing to see in there. Alright, you want to click.
Uh-oh. So this is the speakeasy. Wow.
I want to take note of those collar colors.
Those must be the spigots William Akers mentioned in his journal. If map is correct, the tree where Vitus would bark at the hawks used to be right about here.
We're not going to do anything with that yet, but...
So Lucy would swim out to the shipwreck, which is about here.
Lucy's is green. Oh, and that name is Folly. We might want to remember that for later. I'm just trying to get to that last one. And Xander is the red. Is Xander's indecipherable or something? We're gonna look at these spigots.
The spigot won't move.
Do we need to prime it with the water?
There must be a way to unlock these spigots. The spigot won't move. There must be a way to unlock these spigots. The spigot won't move. There must be a way to unlock these spigots.
Okay. Let's see if that did it. It did do it. Oh my god. Oh, so it's the dog slugging the porch.
It's too dark. Xander played by the pump, which is right here.
Huh.
That doesn't sound good. It's some kind of lock. So you're the ghost dogs. You look pretty real to me.
Yeah, these are normal ass dogs. They're so cute.
Who's a good boy? Who's a good puppy?
Tooth paint? The dog whistle.
That's the speaker I saw in the house.
And the key. Apparently you will have to do it every time, so... This brings us into the well room. Excuse me. Turn one wheel.
It's blocked.
Apparently we do actually take this wheel out. Okay, I'm saving the game again. on pipe. So wheels on pipe. Those numbers are basically the Roman numeral numbers combined with the first letter of the doggos' names.
£600 of gold bullion. Wow.
Hey there, Nancy. Why, what on earth we got here?
Emily Griffin. Oh my god.
Don't you shut that door on me, Nancy Drew!
There's plenty of gold here. We can
Open the door! Nancy, wait! Let's talk about this. This can just be our little secret. You scratch my back, I scratch yours, remember? Nancy?
The gold's all yours, Em. Enjoy it while you can.
Oh, we really just left her in there to fucking
Dear Ned,
die.
as soon as I got out of the tunnels, Emily had left a door open. I called the sheriff, but when I led him back down the well to the room where I left Emily, she refused to leave. He and his deputies finally got her out, but one of them said afterward that if he had to choose between getting a bear away from her cub and getting Emily away from that gold,
Oh, wow.
he'd pick the bear. What's worse, by the time they took Emily away, the place was swarming with reporters from all over the country. The commotion has scared away every bird for miles. I'm pretty sure Red Knot would like to strangle me. On the other hand, when Ranger Akers found out that 7 cars and 2 helicopters were illegally parked on park property and that he was going to get to ticket them, he was ecstatic. Tucker Davis finally cleared away that dead tree, which means I'm free to drive home. Moon Lake is beautiful, but I've had enough wildlife for now. Which reminds me, did I mention that those 4 ghost dogs are actually very sweet? They're so sweet, in fact, that Sally is seriously thinking about adopting them. How's that for irony? Ever yours, Nancy.
Well,
Bess, hi, it's Nancy. I'm at this little amusement park on the coast. I wish I could say I was having a wonderful time, but the fact is, some pretty spooky things have been happening here. There have been some strange accidents, and the carousel, it starts up in the dead of night all by itself, like it's haunted or something. You know me, I don't get scared very easily, but I saw it myself, and I'll call you later. I've gotta go right now.
oh, so teaser for the next game in the series. The Haunted Carousel. Coming soon. Not next week, but the week after that, because next week we're actually going to be doing Danganronpa Trigger Happy Havoc. So, this has been Teo Tamara signing off now. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see y'all next week. Bye.